All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here as everyone this morning rolls in. Good morning. Welcome to the NSPE Virtual Professional Engineers Conference. I'm Cody Verhalen, PE, an attorney at Taft Law and a past president of NSPE 2016-2017. So thank you all for joining us this morning. I want to especially thank our sponsors for making this year's conference possible. Thank you to the American Arbitration Association, Bolton & Mank, Fries & Nichols, Geico, Jose Guerra Incorporated, and Taft Law. Thank you to all of our sponsors and really appreciate you supporting such an important education opportunity for professional engineers. As we start this session and people start to join us here, I do want to do a quick poll just to get a sense of who's out there in the audience. You can all see us, but we can't see all of you just yet. And so how many of you have been to a PE conference before? Is this your first, or have you attended in previous years? If you could respond, that'd be great. All right, well, welcome to first-time attendees and welcome back to those who have been with us before. I know this year's a little bit different than those of us who've been to conferences before are used to, but it's still a great opportunity to get together around professional engineering, and especially with PE Day falling this Wednesday. 2020 has certainly been a year of challenges and changes for the world. I hope all of you who are tuning in, your friends, your families, your coworkers, your employers, are all adapting, or maybe even coming up with new ways of living and working that are better than before. I know we've certainly experienced that in our household. It's not very often I get to have lunch with my 4-year-old, so that's been a nice change. NSPE, we plan to have a lot of conversations about some of those things this morning at the coffee talks right after this session, and so there'll be some information about that on the very last slide. But it'll give you a chance to interact with some of the other attendees without having to meet with them off to the side. Instead, we'll be able to get groups together for those coffee talks today and throughout the week. NSPE, your Association for Professional Engineers, has been adapting to the changing world and working to continue to fulfill the important mission to foster licensed professional engineers in service to society. We continue to envision a world where the public can be confident that engineering decisions that affect their lives are made by qualified and ethically accountable professionals. To that end, NSPE is living a new strategic plan to help meet our goals in the key focus areas of shaping public policy, educating for the future, and promoting diversity in tomorrow's engineer. To help us walk through all of that this morning, I have with me David Martini, NSPE President 2019-2020, Tricia Hatley, NSPE President 2020-2021, and Rick Guerra, NSPE President-elect. We wanted to sit them down as a panel and answer some questions on how NSPE has been moving forward. Good morning to all of you.
Morning.
First, David, I'm going to start with you on shaping public policy. What has NSPE's message been out on the policy front over this last year?
Thanks, Cody. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this area, and we've done a lot of work this year on policy. We've been clearly sending the message that together, the engineering team of licensed PEs and certified technicians, one, we're committed to ensuring the health and safety of our communities. Two, that we're driven by excellence within the area of expertise and on the projects that we're assigned. And three, that we're highly competent in our designated fields of work, and we produce quality work both independently and as a team. With this message, we've been talking about the responsible licensing, and we've been addressing the many attacks that are coming at us related to the value of licensed professionals, both on competency and on qualifications. It should be noted, though, that these attacks are mostly coming at the local and state level.
Yes, there are organizations out there that are drafting language for governors and our legislators that present professional licensing as a burden to employment. And don't forget also about those consumer beware laws that are being proposed around the country, or similar bills titled Right to Earn a Living. I can't imagine just going to anyone to be my doctor, or just anyone building the bridge that I drove over on the way to work this morning. And so we have to work together to be sure that the public and our elected leaders understand why the license is rigorous for a reason. We have had some wins, though, and we can't forget about the NTSB recommendations to the states to have PEs involved in pipeline work and to remove the industry exemption. And the chairman of the NTSB will touch on this in our first session on Wednesday.
David, Trish, those are great examples. But I, for one, am really excited about our closing session on Friday. But we'll hear more on these attacks on licensure, how NSPE has been fighting them, what's planned for the future, and most importantly, what we all need to do as professionals to protect the PE license, not just for the profession, but for the safety of the public. We'll also have Congressman J.T. Cox, PE from California, tell us what it's like to be a professional engineer in public office.
It certainly sounds like there's a lot going on this week and a lot of great education sessions for everyone to participate in. Let's leave shaping public policy on that note. And Trish, could you tell us what educating for the future means to you? I know this is really important to you.
Sure. Just as with shaping public policy, we're stronger together. And so in educating for the future, it really highlights the work that NSPE and NICET both focus on education, experience, and examination, and determining who is most knowledgeable, qualified, and competent to protect the public. So I believe that the engineering team comprised of both licensed PEs and certified technicians can provide better quality in order to help protect the public health, safety, and welfare. And that an educated engineering team helps us meet our mission of a world where the public can be confident that engineering decisions affecting their lives are made by qualified and ethically accountable professionals. NSPE's programs help professional engineers stay knowledgeable and informed.
Absolutely. It's important for engineers to continually learn and grow, not just because 40 states out of 50 require continuing education for a licensure renewal, which, by the way, NSPE supports, but to show the public that we're serious about qualifications. Each year, NSPE and its state society partners conduct over 500 educational sessions at chapter meetings, state meetings, at this conference, and through individual webinars. Many of these educational opportunities can be found on our PE Institute, and all help professional engineers and technicians not only meet requirements, but really grow in the profession.
That's very well said, Rick. For me, I'm very proud of the work done this year to set up the new Emerging Leaders program. We have a class of 20 participants this year that's going to learn so much about leadership. We had a great group of people that worked very hard to develop this program, and I'm really looking forward to see how this program is going to develop more in the future.
Inadvertently muted myself there. That's all really great, and I'm excited to see what this next year brings in this area as well. But with all of that going on, Rick, can you tell us about how NSPE decided to tackle promoting diversity and tomorrow's engineer when it adopted the strategic plan a year ago, and what you've done this year?
Sure. In one sense, NSPE has always been diverse, as we're made up of engineers from all disciplines. However, over the years, we've often regretted the fact that we really don't fully represent the society around us, or even the pool of potential engineers. We lack breadth when it comes to gender, age, and racial diversity. During the 2019 Professional Engineers Conference in Kansas City, we had Dr. Carl Reed, the Executive Director of the National Society of Black Engineers, talk to us about diversity and why it matters to the profession. We also hosted a panel discussion where the heads of top engineering firms in Kansas City each shared their perspectives on the importance of diversity to the future of engineering. And finally, diversity gained a place in the NSPE Code of Ethics last year, when the code was amended to compel engineers to treat all persons with dignity, respect, fairness, and without discrimination.
Exactly. And since publicizing our focus on diversity about a year ago, we heard from some of our brave members of color out there that they often didn't feel welcome at our own local, state, and national events. And so when the NSPE leadership heard this, they knew that we needed to do more. So we created the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Advisory Committee to help guide us. I have been amazed by the open conversations and the hard work of this committee. They worked with staff to develop new questions for the biannual Engineering Outlook Survey, which provided us with data and comments not only from our NSPE members, but also from the engineering community at large. They also revamped the demographics section of our member profile page, which will allow us to capture better data on our own membership diversity.
Yep. And hopefully our participants have noticed that this topic is a priority for us. And this month's PE magazine is actually founded on diversity. Trish, you and Rick and the Diversity and Equity Inclusion Committee played a big part in the issue, and you just did a fantastic job putting that together. The fact is, tomorrow's engineers are more diverse than past engineers, and we need to recognize this and recognize the world changing around us.
Talking about tomorrow's engineers, Dave, it's a great intro for us to announce NSPE's Young Engineer of the Year Award winner and play his acceptance speech. So Rick, would you do these honors?
My pleasure. This year's NSPE Young Engineer of the Year Award winner is Jonathan Hartman. Jonathan was named the Young Engineer of the Year of the Texas Society of Professional Engineers, TSP. He currently serves as the president of the Panhandle chapter of TSPE and is actively involved with the TSPE Young Engineers Committee. He organized TSPE's inaugural golf tournament to support West Texas A&M School of Engineering, where he also serves on the Engineering Advisory Board. Jonathan is an active supporter of the Texas Engineering Foundation and its mission to enhance the practice of engineering through education, encourage high standards of conduct, and provide scholarships to assist engineering students. Jonathan is a senior electrical engineer at Burns & McDonnell and designs critical infrastructure solutions for the company's aviation and federal group. Before joining Burns & McDonnell, Jonathan was an electrical engineer for Park Hill Smith & Cooper, Inc., helping to deliver more than 300 projects. Congratulations, Jonathan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Hartman, and I'm beyond honored and humbled to be selected as the 2020 NSPE Young Engineer of the Year. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today to the award ceremony. It's quite different accepting this award virtually, but I am proud of how our industry has adapted and adjusted throughout these unprecedented times. With today being National Professional Engineers Day, there's no better time to celebrate our industry. Engineers now, more than ever, have been called upon to provide remarkable solutions to some of our world's biggest challenges. I'd like to thank NSPE and the selection committee for considering me for this award and for the great honor of being its recipient. I also wanted to recognize the incredible job the committee and the convention staff have done at communicating with members and planning the event amidst all of the disruption the pandemic has caused. When I first stepped foot on campus at Baylor University to begin my career, I originally had not fully determined that engineering was the career path for me. In fact, I thought I wanted to be an architect. It wasn't until I consulted with my father and talked with engineering professors on Baylor campus that helped guide me to engineering. So I cannot stress enough the importance of finding these mentors in your life and utilizing their experience and advice to help guide you in your career and your personal life. I also encourage you to be a mentor yourself and look for opportunities to influence others in a positive way. The challenge in building relationships and the satisfaction in making positive impacts is what makes mentoring most worthwhile to me. So before I close today, I wanted to say a few quick thank yous to some folks that have had a major impact on my career and my life. To Ben Stallwitz, thank you for your openness and your willingness to discuss topics so that we might gain perspective through the many challenges in our profession and in our personal lives. Your friendship and camaraderie is second to none. Troy Sweeney, thank you for always challenging me to think outside of what I think and look at the bigger picture. To Chris Stepp, Thank you for your words of encouragement and reminding me to focus on the little things. To my father, the simple advice to reframe what I tell myself in those less than desirable tasks. Instead of saying to myself, I have to do this, but rather saying, I get to do this. It has been invaluable throughout my life and my career. To my wife, Cheyenne, thank you for being with me through the many challenges of the journey we're on together. Your words of encouragement and candid feedback are invaluable, irreplaceable, and always come with impeccable timing. NSPE, thank you again for this great honor. I look forward to seeing what the future holds for this organization and the industry as a whole. One thing is for certain, it is sure to be bright. Hello, everyone.
Thank you, Jonathan. I have the honor of announcing the 2020 NSPE
Hello.
Distinguished Service Award winner. The award was established to recognize NSPE members for their exceptional contributions to the engineering profession, to their communities, and to NSPE. The 2020 winner is Dr. Teresa Helmlinger-Ratcliffe, PE, Fellow NSPE. Among Dr. Ratcliffe's most recognized professional traits, passion is perhaps her most revered characteristic, and it has been showcased for decades. She was the first woman to serve as president of NSPE in 2003. Equally noteworthy, she received the NSP Award in 2011, the first and only woman to hold that honor. Additionally, she is the past chair of NSPE's Professional Engineers and Industry Interest Group and a past president of both PENC and its Central Carolina chapter. She has also been active with the Society of Women Engineers, the Institute of Industrial Engineers, the American Society of Engineering Educators, and the American Society of Quality. In 2006, Dr. Ratcliffe was appointed by the state governor as a member of the North Carolina Board of Examiners for Engineers and Surveyors, for which she served until 2016, some of those as chair. She has also served on several committees and task forces for the National Council of Examiners of Engineers and Surveyors. From 2008 to 13, she represented NSPE as an alternate appointed member to the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. Also in 2008, Dr. Ratcliffe became a founding member of the Institute Education Council, the workforce development and education partner of the National Association of Manufacturers. The organization's diverse initiatives support all American workers and emerging workers through skills training programs, community building, and their career advancement in manufacturing. Dr. Ratcliffe is currently the Director of Interprofessional Education and Outreach and Professor of the Practice at Campbell University School of Engineering. In this capacity, she works with industries in Eastern North Carolina who are interested in partnering with the school, engaging and mentoring students, volunteering for school activities, and hiring student interns and full-time employees upon graduation. Dr. Ratcliffe retired as Vice Provost for Outreach and Engagement and Executive Director of Industry Expansion Solutions at NC State University in 2016. Prior to NC State, she had been with Progress Energy for 20 years. Without question, Dr. Ratcliffe has left an imprint on the careers of many engineers and has been integral in bolstering their leadership paths. Congratulations, Terry.
Hello, professional engineering community, and thank you so much for this award. I mean, it is quite the honor. Indulge me a minute. I want to read you just a little bit of my favorite quote, and it's from it's called "Man in the Arena," and it's from Teddy Roosevelt. I built my acceptance speech when I was given the gavel in 2003 around this quote. But this is only part of it. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while doing greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. I think you can probably see why I read that. I think that speaks a whole lot about what NSPE is, and it's my mantra. When I believe in something, I do it, and I do it with a lot of passion. And so this is my way of saying that very trite thing. I love what I'm doing. I love engineering. But particularly now in my last career move down at that little Campbell University, the New School of Engineering, absolutely love what I'm doing, have always loved what I'm doing. I have loved NSPE from the beginning and have appreciated so much the people that have surrounded me and supported me. I was going to start naming some of those giants, but I was afraid I was going to forget somebody. So it is truly, I love what I'm doing. Do it with a whole lot of passion because that's who I am. That's who NSPE is. It is just gravy on top to be recognized for it. So thank you very much, particularly to my colleagues with the professional engineers in North Carolina who are responsible for this, and for all of you out there who have supported me, not only throughout the years, but particularly with this nomination. I look forward to seeing you all because I'm not done yet.
Oh, that's fantastic. I've had the honor of meeting both of those award winners, and I can tell you that just two fantastic selections and very well-deserved recognition. As outgoing president of NSP, it's my honor to announce the 2020 NSP Award winner. The NSP Award is the highest award presented to an engineer by the Society for outstanding contributions to the profession, the public welfare, and humankind. The 2020 NSP Award goes to Stephen Arndt, PhD, PE, Fellow, NSPE. Dr. Arndt is recognized for the many contributions he has made to the engineering profession, for his outstanding work as a nuclear engineer, and the numerous volunteer leadership roles he has undertaken on behalf of NSPE and the engineering profession over the past 3 decades. A world-renowned authority in the field of nuclear engineering, Dr. Arndt has devoted more than 35 years of his professional life to nuclear safety. His expertise in nuclear power plant simulation, severe accident analysis, software reliability, cybersecurity, and digital instrumentation and control has benchmarked his career as an educator, consultant, and regulator. With extensive experience in Russia and Ukraine, Arndt led U.S. support programs for the countries of the former Soviet Union following the Chernobyl accident in 1986. During the Fukushima accident in 2011, he worked with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's Operations Center as it supported the Japanese government. He has helped prioritize the NRC's near-term recommendations for U.S. plants based on lessons learned from Fukushima. Dr. Arndt currently serves as the Senior Technical Advisor in the Office of Nuclear Reactor Regulation. Within the U.S., he has facilitated development of new regulatory guidance for use of digital safety systems at the nation's 104 operating nuclear plants. Arndt's other notable assignments have included serving on the U.S. delegation to the International Electrotechnical Commission and promoting International Atomic Energy Agency safety standards. As another milestone, throughout his career as a full professor, he has taught full-time at the U.S. Naval Academy and part-time at both the University of Maryland and the University of Tennessee. Dr. Arndt is the recipient of the 2012 NSPE Federal Engineer of the Year Award. Arndt has left his mark within NSPE as well. He has served on NSPE's Committee on Policy and Advocacy, the NSPE Honors and Awards Task Force, and is chair of the NSPE Professional Engineers and Government Interest Group. Other professional affiliations where he has shown leadership include the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the Accreditation for Engineering and Technology, and the National Council of Examiners for Engineering and Surveying. And in 2006, he was appointed to the Maryland Board for Professional Engineers, where he served as chair from 2015 to 2019. Congratulations, Stephen.
Good morning. My name is Stephen Arndt. I am here to humbly accept the 2002 NSPE Award, NSPE's highest honor. Throughout my career, I have endeavored to be a good engineer, but I never dreamed to be in the company of great engineers that have received this award in the past. Giants in our field, like Charles Draper and my friend Gene Corley. Throughout my career, I've had the honor to work with great engineers. And as part of working with them, they've taught me many things. They've taught me the privilege it is to be an engineer. That science and engineering is part of what makes our country and our world a great place. But they've also taught me that just doing a good job as an engineer is not enough. You have to put engineering and science to work for all of mankind. That's something we need to remember, particularly in these challenging times. I've been graced with the privilege of doing this kind of work throughout my entire career. First at the Naval Academy, and then later through most of my career at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It's been my day in and day out job to try and better humankind through my work. I've been privileged to be able to improve some of the science and the methods and the tools of nuclear engineering throughout my career. But my real contribution has been to try and make what we do, engineering, serve mankind. We've also hopefully been able to encourage our next generation of engineers. Before I end, I would like to thank all my professors at university, all my colleagues and friends in the business who have helped me, encouraged me, taught me all the things that I've needed to be successful. I'd also like to thank my family, particularly my father and my brother, both professional engineers, for all their support, all their encouragements, wise words throughout the years. And I'd like to thank most of all my wife, Linda, for putting up with me as an engineer, for always asking for the simple, short answers, and for being with me throughout the years. I sincerely thank you all for this great honor.
Well, that was a really inspirational way to start this morning and kick off our virtual PE conference. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for this conversation, and to recognize those 3 members of NSPE for their accomplishments. So if any of you know them and have the privilege of running into them, congratulate them on their recognition this year. We're now going to end the session and ask participants to log in and join us separately on the Zoom meeting platform with the meeting ID and PECon code, passcode, there on your screen. You will automatically be sent into breakout rooms by regions to network. The regions are shown on the map. These are the regions that we at NSPE think about the United States divided up into, and so that those will be the regions and people you'll be interacting with during your coffee talk this morning. It'll give you a chance to get to know some of your peers that you'll see around the rest of the week, but also have a chance to discuss some of the topics. We'll also be providing any Zoom assistance for those who are new to the platform or run into any technical difficulties, because we really do want you to get the absolute best out of this networking opportunity, but also the conference the rest of this week. So on behalf of all of the panelists and NSPE, thank you for joining us this morning, and have a wonderful week.